What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, I'm watching the Rideshare Professor's channel, and so today's video that he's posting up was basically about how passengers get drivers falsely deactivated, and how you can contact Gig Rocket, and they will fight for you to get you reactivated. I wanted to share my point of view on false deactivations from passengers. Everything. First off, it's 2025. I don't understand why Lyft allows people to get away with stuff. They're tracking our driving habits. They know how fast we're speeding. They know if we're, turning too hard or the turns are being, we're accelerating too hard on the turn. They know they have all of this data on the rides and the driver's behavior. So it doesn't make any sense that a rider could say that the driver was speeding or that the driver kept slamming on the brakes. All of these things is just stupid and it doesn't make any sense. This is why I'm all for you suing the company, suing the rider, and everything because it's not like they don't have the data and deactivating drivers when you have the data doesn't make any sense. Now, if it's a new driver and the driver has only did 5 or 10 rides and they already got a sexual harassment case, maybe you should show some concern there. But for drivers who have done thousands of rides, doesn't make any sense why you would believe that that driver just suddenly is now sexually harassing passengers. I'm pretty sure a driver has had a lot of beautiful women in their car, a lot of intoxicated women in their car. So why is it that they don't have any other sexual harassment cases against them? Doesn't make any sense. It never has since the beginning of these apps till now. It doesn't make any sense at all. It isn't a flaw in a system. They want to deactivate drivers because if they can deactivate 5 drivers in an area or X amount of drivers within a certain time period, what's going to happen? It's going to say demand is high. It's going to say limited availability. So now the passengers have to pay more money. And think about deactivating hundreds of drivers in a single market. That's more money for them. There's no way anybody can report that a driver is reckless driving or a driver is intoxicated under the influence or anything without them actually knowing that this driver has been swerving a lot in the past hour, that the driver has been speeding a lot in the past hour. They braking. They know all of this information. That's why it doesn't make any sense that they would be deactivating drivers with no actual proof at all. I mean, if you get deactivated, they want you to write back to them. Sometimes you can get reactivated within a certain amount of time. Now, here's the thing. If you are a silver driver or you're on any tier where you can call them, now when they deactivate you, you're not able to call them. You can actually still call them through the app. I'm not deactivated right now, so I can't show how that works. But if you go through your app, you will be able to figure out how to actually get somebody on the phone. Um, Sometimes it's better to just write it up, but it is going to take you at least around about 2 days to get back active. And I know how frustrating all of that can be. And so when you see that your driver account is on hold, that frustration level is on 100. Like I said, I can't remember how I got in contact with them the last time this happened to me. I think I went up here in the dollar sign, or it might have been in the menu, and I was able to call them from the last trip that I was on. Um, but again, point that I'm making about all of this is that it doesn't make any sense that passengers can record audio, record video, and they still say that drivers did this and did that. And Lyft looks really stupid. You look really stupid discounting someone, telling someone, I'm sorry. this happened to you and we're going to credit you on your rides. And you look very weak and pathetic because you continuously do this with passengers, allowing them to get money back off of a ride or a free ride, whatever the case is. Not only did you pay me for giving that ride, but you also turned around and you have to pay another driver because you're giving them credit on another ride. So this is bad business for them because there's no thought process into what they're doing. You go to a restaurant and somebody messes up your order, you complain to the manager. The manager sees the order. You guys can see the data on that ride. So why are you not cross-referencing, and why are you letting your algorithm just automatically go ahead and give them a refund? Take this guy, for instance, Logan Ski Money. He's making a skit where he's calling up Lyft and he's saying that the driver made him get to his appointment late. And then it was another guy that popped up, which was saying, "We're sorry, we can't control traffic conditions." And then he turns around and he says, "Well, your policy is that if you don't get to your destination within 5 minutes of the estimated time, then the ride is free." One, that is stupid. That is so stupid that they would have that type of policy. Now, to my understanding, their policy is based off of a scheduled ride. Meaning, if you schedule the ride and the driver gets there late, or you're late getting to where you got to go, then the ride is free, or you'll get money back or Lyft credits and everything. So again, I don't understand why people would post this video up. Like, what is wrong with this dude? What is wrong with him? Do you understand that drivers are not paid by the hour? Do you understand that drivers do not get paid to pick you up? And because you were late to one, you should have requested your ride early enough. That's what you should have did. Don't hurt someone's income, or don't hurt Lyft's end game and trying to make profits, because they're going to make their money back one way or another by charging people more money because they had 1,000 people they had to get credit to or give them their money back. And so now everybody else's rides get more expensive. But it's videos like this that gets a little bit of traction, and people say, "You know what, I'll use that whenever I don't have that much money in my account," or they're overcharging me for a ride, or whatever the case is. Here's another channel talking about how to get Lyft free rides. They have 3,000 views on it in the past year. And you got another person right here, over 7,000 views, talking about free rides. It's everywhere, all over the internet, if you do a deep dive and research into it, where people are trying to say free rides. TikTok was the main one advertising that that free ride bullcrap. The funny thing is that nobody is even thinking about what's going to happen to the driver. I mean, you really think that nothing's going to happen? You're not thinking about that they're going to attack drivers if millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people are following this trend? I mean, when you look at this video, you see 3,000 people viewed this video. But 3,000 people, you have to multiply that by quite a few, because people are going to tell their friends, they're going to share the video, they are going to tell people, "Hey, I got money back, this is what I did," and everything. And people, especially when they're drunk, they're going to be more than likely going to do something like this, especially in cases where they're asking you, "Hey, can you stop over here for a minute?" I've had people do that, and I told them, "Could you be so kind to please add it in the app so that my next passenger can be notified about a delay in their trip?" 2 minutes could be the difference between someone losing their job and people will still sit there and say, "Man, it's only going to take 2 minutes." I don't know what it is about that trend of it's only going to take 2 minutes. People don't know how many people are in line at the store. They don't know if anything could delay and everything. And the only thing that they could say is sorry. All because the passenger never realized that drivers are rating them. and they can change the previous rating up to 24 hours. And when you ask a person to make a stop and you're refusing to put it in the app, trust me, some drivers will just end the ride and put a note in the app. And other drivers will wait for you and they will just give you 1 stars. I know me, as soon as the ride is over with, you will never get a ride from me again. Because as soon as I give you less than 4 stars, they will not pair me with you again, and your availability for drivers will decrease. The more often you do it, the more you're really screwing yourself. And whenever they send a ride request to other drivers, your rating is going to be low, and drivers are going to be like, okay, I don't know what kind of problem I'm going to deal with. It's usually 2 different problems. Well, I'd say about 4. One, the passenger is never ready at pickup. 2, they ask for free stops. Number 3, eating inside of the driver's car, slamming the door. And for drivers that drive at night, it's you requesting rides for other passengers without changing the rider in the app, which you can do by simply clicking on where are you going. I'm sorry, I don't know how far I got. I made a mistake and stopped the video and then process it. Anyway, what you're going to do is you want to click on where are you going, and then you're going to hit change rider. Once you do that, you hit add rider and your contacts pull up. You scroll through, click on that contact, and it switches to rider. It's too easy. It's too simple. You can't request a ride without saying change rider. Now, I think that they need to make that a little bit bigger just because it is an issue and it is an ongoing issue. But nevertheless, this is one of the reasons why people get a lot of bad ratings. At least if you requested the ride, you put the other person as the rider, at least whatever rating the driver gives you, it is not going to affect your rating, because it goes on that person and it doesn't go on you, the account holder. So again, these are common issues that will quickly get a person's account a low rating, and other drivers won't do the pickup. And you can look here where it says Lyft is offering free rides to job interviews, job training. I don't understand. This is like the dumbest marketing tool I've ever seen. Are you literally out here that desperate, thinking that, oh, well, let's give rides to people job interviews? You know, a lot of people can testify that sometimes they have to go to 5, maybe 10 different interviews before they end up getting one. Indeed, maybe they are paying for these rides or a portion of the ride, because they are a temporary agency, or I guess you would call it. But in just case you don't know, if you go to some of these tip agencies, they offer you life insurance, health insurance, vision, all of this. You got to ask yourself, how in the hell are y'all paying for that? What are these companies paying y'all? Well, if they're paying you $12 an hour for that particular job, the job place that you're going to, temp agency, is getting about $36. Okay, they're getting way more than what you're getting for your labor, for your services. And that's really messed up. The fact that we can't sell our services to somebody else and get the money that we want, but these temp agencies, they can. And I know what some people would say, well, they don't, with temps, they don't have to worry about paying the, insurance and all this other stuff. Shouldn't that be waivable? I know that some places, if you want to, you don't have to take the insurance policy. You could choose not to take the insurance policy and you could still work. But the difference that you're going to be paid is not what you're going to think it is. It's not what you think it is. Most of the time, it's no difference at all. Even though you waiving it, they may be saving a lot of money because you're not taking the insurance. But nevertheless, these temp agencies get way more. So they can get way more for your labor versus you. And the funny thing is that in a single office, they may only have 3 or 4 people working at a time. 3 or 4 people that's working at one single time. So it's not like there's a huge overhead for these offices. But nevertheless, the amount of videos, it goes on and on and on and on. Look at this right here. Glitch. Live and get 5,000 free rides or whatever. I don't know.
Hey guys, if you have...
But, you can look it up on YouTube. There are plenty of channels who are claiming these free rides, and most of them are talking about reporting drivers, which is unfair. If a driver didn't do something and it's messed up, that's like somebody coming into your job and saying that you did something. I had a person have me deactivated one time when I was in Michigan. I picked her up at a Family Dollar. As we began to drive, she ended up asking me to stop, and I said, ma'am, could you look at the note on the window, which pretty much explained how to add stops in the app. Then she starts telling me, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, I ain't never heard of nothing like this. And I even opened up the app and I showed her this screen. I hit the plus sign and then it explains to you. And I told her, I said, that's the only way I'm gonna get paid for my time. And she gonna say, what do you want? You want a tip? And I said, ma'am, no. You have to add the stop in the app so they don't think that I'm making a personal stop and my next passenger be notified. She still was just tripping. I said, look, I don't want any problems. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and I make the stop. I'm not trying to get deactivated for something because I'm following their policy. Made the stop, picked up another rider, and as soon as I dropped him off, my account was deactivated. Can't tell you how pissed off I was. I did something I didn't want to do. And regardless of me being polite and courteous and nice when I'm not supposed to, my account gets deactivated. I went over a week without making any income. All because somebody wanted to stop at a store and get blunt wraps. And I told them no. Even though I turned around and I just went ahead and I did it anyway. I still got deactivated. So it can be a lose-lose for most drivers. So all in all, my purpose of this video is to explain to people that these deactivations are unfair. And having a dash cam, Lyft doesn't have any way for you to provide them with the dash cam footage. You can email them, but we all know that when you try to email that dash cam footage, you're gonna have to cut it up. I don't know, like 14 seconds. You might have an issue where it's been 3 minutes. You know how long it's gonna take for you to download that 13 seconds? Now you might be able to take the SD card. I forgot what it's called, but you put the SD card in this device and then you can hook it through the to the computer through the USB drive, and you can bring up the file. Now from there, maybe you can email it from home, but I know from your phone, you're not going to be able to email that whole entire file. Maybe it might be possible through Google, but it takes some time to download it from your dash cam. I wish it was a way to do it a lot quicker, but it does take some time. And like I said, you have to download it in a few seconds as far as the increments and everything. But nevertheless, again, like I said, this is just stupid. It's stupid that we have to go and get lawyers for this. I mean, Lyft, literally, by not doing a better job, they've created a division in the law that only helps gig workers. I mean, and these law firms, they do it because it's business. It's a way for them to earn more money. It's a way for them to earn more money by helping people, which honestly, it seems like they are out to help people because like the rideshare professor is saying, Gig Rocket, that's who helps with the deactivations of the drivers. And they'll take on your case for like $60. Now, honestly, I think that all they're doing is just a quick copy and paste. Now, if you had to go to court, that might be a different situation, but ultimately I think it's Lyft that ends up happening to pay for the driver. Now, I want you to check this out. Let's just say you're averaging 250 a day. Now, Gig Rocket usually says it takes 20 or more days to get you back on the platform. Well, 250 a day comes to $5,000. So you as a passenger, if you making these false reports, you can end up having to compensate a driver for their income and their attorney fees. Because only thing the attorney is doing for the $60 is they're appealing your deactivation, meaning they're just telling the company, hey, what were the grounds that this person was deactivated? And in some cases, as soon as they're contacted by the attorney, they're going to just reactivate the driver's account. But there are many cases where it's just not that simple, and they want to fight it. So that means longer time for the driver being deactivated. So you as a customer, you may end up getting shafted because the lawsuit is going to attack you as well. So you could be responsible for a portion of that driver's losses. So you might want to consider whether it's even worth it or not, because if your average ride, let's just say your average ride on the platform is say $8.99. That's the ride that you take to work and home from work. So times 2. Okay. So let's take $5,000. Now, let me go back. So $5,000 divided by $17.98 costing you $17.98 a day. That's 278 days worth of rides back and forth to work. Your 2 rides a day is going to end up costing you $5,000, which is equivalent to 278 rides on the platform. 278 days on the platform, right? So is it worth having a driver deactivated, knowing that you can it can take 20 days or more for the driver to get back on the platform, and they call that a loss of income? Now, understand this. It's not just that loss of income. It's the strain on the driver. Driver may, the lawyer may say, well, we want you to see, because the driver is pissed off, we want you to see a counselor. All right. Don't worry about the funds for the counselor. We're going to pay it, and it'll just come out of the lawsuit money and everything. So that would just be more that we'll sue them for, but we're guaranteeing to get you your $5,000, your lost income, and they're going to have to pay the lawyer fees on top of it. So now you're not just paying the $5,000, you're paying for the psychologist and or counselor, and on top of that, the lawyer fees. So your false deactivation can cost you thousands of dollars, even $10,000 or more $1,000. Is it really worth it? That's the big question. And if you're a driver and you're listening to this, make sure you keep and retain as many documents that you possibly can. Any deactivations that you have, each one of those deactivations, from the time that you're deactivated to the time that you're reactivated, any losses, any bills that get behind, all of this stuff, track all of it. Because when your car goes down, you have your car goes down and you end up needing to get a new transmission, or the car is just not drivable anymore. Well, guess what? If you're deactivated from the account, you can sue their ass. You can sue their ass, get you a brand new car, and move on with your life. But to just lay down and allow them to do whatever, it's not fair to you. Appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.